DIYers, what's going on? Mike Boards with the Mike Boards channel. Hey, thanks for watching. We're talking skateboards today. We're going to show you how to mount skateboards on a wall with little mounts. They're actually really awesome and we're really excited about this. Let's get started. Currently outside spray painting what was supposed to be orange trucks, but they came pink. And I tried to get them exchanged, but the company that sold me these said no, so I'm not going to call out the company. However, very disappointed in the fact that they wouldn't exchange them for the ones I ordered, but that's okay. So being a DIYer, guess what I've done? I've grabbed some primer and I've primed them, and I'll flip them over here shortly when they're dry to show you the pink. These are now dry, ready to be flipped and painted on the opposite side. DIYers, that is pink, right? That is not orange. That's pink. So again, priming and painting them orange. Trucks are now orange, check that out. I like that color. And there's the paint I went with and recommend for wood, metal, plastic, and more. Down below in the comment section as well as description section will be a link for this brand spray paint. All right, DIYers, at the Craftsman workstation now, and again, we are excited about this project. Underneath the workbench, you can see two skateboards, one black and one white, and those are the boards we are going to mount on the wall. Custom logo to our YouTube channel, aka the DIY Raptor Club. Let's take a closer look and check those out. Those are so cool. We love them. And here are the trucks. Believe it or not, those were pink when they arrived, but the listing said they were orange, and I tried to return them for the orange ones. They said no, but to their defense, I looked deep into the wording on the purchase and it did say no return, so I spray painted them orange. Check that out. Ooh, I want to show you the grip tape. I'll show you that here shortly. And behind that are the two mounts, one black, one white, for each of the black and white board. I have now removed the mounting brackets from the packaging, and check those out. Pretty cool. Again, one white and one black. And the coolest thing about these were produced and printed from a 3D printer. That is awesome. To the left, I have actually made my own personal instruction sheet entitled it Skateboard Wall Mount. And what we'll do is we will work through all of these steps and calculations to give you a better idea of how to do this. However, we are mounting two boards. You may only be mounting one, or you may be mounting two or more. And with that said, let's get started. We will start with the total wall space, 40.5. In other words, 40.5. And that is from the trim on the left side all the way over to the corner portion of the wall. Again, 40.5. Back to the instructions, again, 40.5. Now to the skateboards. They are 8 inches wide, and we've got two boards, so multiply that by 2, and that gives us 16 inches. So after I factor in both skateboards, there is 24.5 or 24.5 of wall space left over when you remove the 16 inches from 40.5. Next, I want equal distance between door trim, skateboards, and wall. So the next question is, how do we calculate that? Well, we take the 24.5 or 24.5 divided by 3, and we use 3 because I want 3 spaces, trim, skateboards, and wall, and that equals 8.16. Below that, okay, so we know 0.125 is 1/8 inch, and 0.25 is a 1/4 inch. So let's go ahead and go to the next step. Let's drop the 8 for a few seconds. Where does the 0.16 fall? Below that, since 0.16 is almost exactly, but not really exactly, between 0.125 and 0.25, I will use 8 3/16. I want to show you that on a ruler. I went and grabbed a tape measure. Again, I want to show you where that 0.16 falls. And again, up here, 0.125 is 1/8 of an inch, and 0.25 is a 1/4 inch. And it is in between. So again, here is a 1/8 and a 1/4, and it is going to be the large line dead center between the 1/8 inch marking and the 1/4 inch marking. So again, we are going to use that, and that completes this line here. And what we do is just add the 8 back to it. And what we'll do next is position the board on the wall at desired height and pencil mark bottom of the skateboard. And I've actually already done that. Check this out. I put the board basically up on the wall, and the very bottom board where I want it positioned, I drew a line. Back to my instructions, and again, after I placed that board on the wall and made my marking at my own personal desired height, yours may be different. And next, measure from the ceiling down to pencil mark, and I've already done that, 44.5 or 44.5. And again, that is the ceiling point or lower portion of our drop ceiling, all the way down to that marking, 44.5 inches. Back to my instructions, a very important step. Next, make second skateboard pencil mark and use level to verify ceiling is level. So let me explain that real quick. What I did next was come up to the bottom portion of the drop ceiling and measured 44.5 inches down, and I made that marking right there. And to trust that my ceiling or drop ceiling frame and tile is level, I came back down and I put this level right here into place on the wall, as shown here. Again, to verify that my markings are perfectly level. And at that point, I can trust that the ceiling is level, and my 44.5 or 44.5 inches from the ceiling down to those markings will ensure that the boards will be at the exact same height when mounted on the wall. Back to my instructions, and now that we have the bottom line that the bottom board will be at, we are now going to pencil mark the drill point line for the mounts. And to do that, we are going to use that 8 3/16 that we calculated up top. We are going to add 4, and we do that because the middle of an 8-inch skateboard is 4 inches. And when you add 4 to 8 3/16, that gives us 12 3/16 inches. And what we will do is show you what we did. Coming back to the wall, and again, flush with the trim, and I made my line at exactly 12 3/16 inches as shown there. And I did that for the left hand side as well. And at that point, you can take a ruler and connect the lines, and that gives us our very low point of the lower mount. Back to my instructions, and you can use a level to connect the lines. That's what we did. We used this long Craftsman level. You can use a ruler or whatever you have handy. However, below that, next we will position the non-adjustable mount and make the pencil mark. And you've got a non-adjustable mount, and that is for the bottom. And then you've got this adjustable one, which will allow us to adjust the upper mount and position it in the proper spot for the board. And we are going to use the black one first. And again, this is the non-adjustable. Back to the wall again, the bottom mount is the non-adjustable mount. It's got 2 holes, and I'm going to use the 44.5 inch line and position the bottom portion of the mount onto that line. And I'm going to center the 2 holes with the 12 3/16 line that we got from the left trim in, and make my markings. Come in dead center of the hole and make your 2 markings. At that point, double check everything. After you pencil in the markings for the drill point for your mount, go ahead and grab a stud finder and see if you're on a stud. If you are, that'd be neat. You wouldn't have to install drywall anchors. And I've got a Craftsman stud finder here. Make sure it's flush with the wall. And what I'll do is push and hold and set it. It is now aligned with the green light, and I'll just move to the right. And we are not on a stud. We are just to the left of a stud. Check that out. Back to my instructions, and we just used the stud finder to see if you're in line with a stud or not. We are not. We are now going to drill and secure the lower mount. I've got a 1/8 inch drill bit to my Craftsman drill, and these are the anchors I'm going to use. Start with a smaller drill bit than the actual size of the anchor. The last thing you want to do is drill a hole that's larger than the anchor, and the anchor will not secure itself in. At that point, you're in some trouble. And go slow, be precise, match the tip of the drill bit dead center in your marking, and slowly drill into the drywall. Hole 1 is drilled, now to the second hole. Holes are drilled, and again, starting small, I've got my drywall anchor, and it is too big to go in the hole. I've now stepped it up to a 5/32 drill bit, and make sure you are center inside the hole and drill. And back to the anchor, and we may need to go a size even larger. DIYers, the last thing you want to do is push a drywall anchor into a hole that's too small. You could actually lead to cracking your drywall or caving it in this section, and that is not what you want. Now to a close-up of the anchors installed inside the wall, and what we will do next is grab an eraser before we install and secure that mount with the screws, and we will erase our pencil markings. And I did just that. I used an eraser to remove the pencil markings. I dabbed some water on a paper towel, and I'm just going to clean up any additional pencil and eraser residue from the wall and dry it. In DIYers, for the most part, the pencil marking has been removed from the wall. There is a wet look to it because, again, I used a wet paper towel. That will dry over time. Back to the lower mount, I've got the screw in the bottom hole. And do not over tighten this. You are going to put the screw in the bottom hole, and I will screw it in only halfway in. And then I will grab the upper screw and insert it in the dead center portion of the upper hole. and you still have a little bit of play. Make sure you center your lower mount before tightening it all together. Do not over tighten these screws into the plastic drywall anchors. Next, to a close-up, I grab the Craftsman level, and I've got it flush with the bottom mount here and with the opposite side 44.5 line, and just ensure that you are still level. Back to our instructions, and drill and secure lower mount. We just did that. Next, we need to position the skateboard on lower mount and shift upper mount into place and make our pencil mark. And DIYers, the next step, bear with me. I've got the board. I'll do my best not to get in your way. And I've got the blackboard, I've got my pencil, and I've got the upper adjustable mount as shown here. And go ahead and carefully rest your skateboard in the lower mount. Do your absolute best to center it in the dead center portion of the lower mount. Grab your level, come to the side, either left or right, and ensure the board is level. Next, come way up top, slide your upper adjustable mount in place on the top portion of the board and center it as best as possible. At that point, grab your level and double check that you're level one last time. If all looks good, carefully press the mount against the wall and remove your board and make your marking. Up top, and there is the drill point. I'll grab that same size drill bit and drill the hole for, again, the top adjustable mount. To a close-up of the upper mount, I've drilled the hole, pressed in the drywall anchor, and screwed in the screw. However, not 100% tight because I wanted to show you, again, the adjustable feature of this upper mount, and that will allow you just shy of an inch of play in your drill point, which is pretty cool. As you see now, the upper and lower mounts are secured by, again, the drywall anchors and screws. And from here, it's time to test it. What I like to do is come in at the bottom at an angle and position the bottom board on the bottom mount and slide the top board right into place, as shown here, and center the bottom board on the mount as well as the top board. As you can see, there is a little bit of play. However, as the centermost tip or top portion of the board makes its way through that mount, there is a little bit of tension, so it doesn't allow the board to just go extremely loose and freely through the upper mount. However, if yours is too tight or too loose, again, you can adjust it with the adjustable feature of the upper mount. Taking a step back, and so far so good. That is awesome. Again, we are excited about this project. We are going to follow the exact same steps and install the hardware for the white skateboard. And to finish up our instructions on the blackboard, we drilled and secured the upper mount and we installed the skateboard. Holes and drywall anchors are properly secured, and we are now going to erase and clean up all the pencil markings. Making progress. The white lower mount and hardware are secured, and moment of truth, I've grabbed my Craftsman level and I'm going to slide the level up and flush with each of the bottom portions of the lower mount just to ensure it is level. And that looks good. That's what we were hoping for. Now we'll go up top and secure the upper mount. Taking a step back, and that is awesome. Check that out. And the exact same distance on the left-hand side trim to the left portion of the blackboard, as well as the inner portion, is the exact same as the third space between the right portion of the whiteboard and that corner wall. And that turned out exactly what we were hoping for. And what we'll do now is remove the packaging on the boards. Again, black and white, but check this out. Either side of the board are different colors. How cool is that? At this point, packaging is removed, and they are shiny. Check that out. And you can see the reflection in the YouTube mirror on that actual plaque or award. Pretty neat. And you ready for it? Check that out. That is the grip tape for our blackboard. And we are excited. Down below in the comment section, as well as the description section, will be links of building our skateboards. In addition, one will be scrolling above right now. We love that. DIYers from here, we hope this helped. Do us a favor, below the video, you will see that thumbs up icon. Click on that, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely ring your YouTube bell. That would be very helpful to us. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching. Taking a step back, and as I mentioned in the earlier portion of the project, I moved the DIY Raptor canvas to the right side of the workbench or workstation. And again, we are excited to continue building those skateboards. We hope this helped. Thanks again for watching. Hope to see you at the next videos. And check this out. Small little fingerboards. How cool is that? And this is our cryptocurrency token. The token itself is called Toolbox, and the symbol is DIY, and toolboxtoken.com. We've actually played with this one a lot, so it's kind of rubbed off. Here's one. Again, Toolbox token, and on the back side, toolboxtoken.com. Definitely check out that website, get to know more about us, and we've had a lot of fun doing that. And there is our World Industries board. Just wanted to show you those.